Hey guys, you're welcome back to another tutorial day. So basically today we're going to be creating this kimono jacket. So if you want a video on how to create a complete set, please leave a comment in the comment section. But for today we're going to be learning how to create this kimono jacket. Alright, stay tuned and let's get right into the video. I really hope you love the outcome of this. Alright, now let's go to the cutting table. So I have this fabric of about 4 yards. So I'm not going to be using all for the kimono jacket. Right, so I'll just be using about 2 yards of this or 2.5 of this for the kimono jacket. Right, so I'll just basically open up my fabric. So what I noticed here is that the length of this, if I'm going to cut this without having a joining on the shoulder, then I'll have a shorter length, so it will not be up to my length. So this is me basically folding it to show you guys here. So if I'm going to cut this without a joining on my shoulder, then I'm going to be having a shorter length because I'm working with just 2.5 yards here. Alright, so I'm going to be cutting this the other way now. So I'm going to have a joining on the shoulder. I hope this is clear, guys. Right, so I'm going to be folding this way. So please take note of how I'm going to be folding. So I folded this way. So I folded into 2 first, then I folded over again. That means I have my clothes on fold now twice. So that's 4 pieces together. So I'll be cutting using this to draft out both the front and the back together. So please go ahead and fold yours like this as well. Now this is the first one, so I have 2 here and I have 2 on the other part. This is just what I was trying to explain earlier. Alright, now let's go ahead and continue cutting. So now I'm just going to basically rule out all the necessary measurements and points I'm going to be needing for this. Right, so for this it's going to be cut together with the armhole. So if we don't know how to do that, this video is for you as well. So it is beginner friendly. So I'm going to be cutting this together with the sleeve. So I'll just go ahead and locate my chest line right there. So sorry, that was my bust line on 10. So I located the bust line on 10. So I didn't locate the chest line because I'm not going to be working with an armhole for this. So I located my bust line, then the waist. Also I'm going to locate the length of this. Now why you see that I did not locate the hip is because this is a free jacket. So I'm just going to go hard on allowance here. So I'm not going to be adding much waist and all those to this. So I hope this is clear, guys. So this is my length. I'll just go ahead and roll this like this. So go ahead and do the same for yours. Now here I'm connecting my bust line. Roll this as well. I'm going to be connecting that as well. So as you can see, I only rolled the bust line and then the length. And this is because this is what I basically need for this measurement. So on the neckline I'm going to be going in by 3 as the wideness, then the depth is just going to be 1 inch. So you can use 1.5 as well depending on what you are making for. So for this I went ahead to use 1 inch for this. So keep in mind I'm drafting both the back and the front piece together. So yeah, I'm going to input in my back measurement, which is 14 divided by 2, so I have 7. Then the rest I have there is serve as my sleeve. I hope you understand this. So normally I put in my shoulder measurement, then I have the rest serving as my sleeve. So if this is not long enough for the sleeve I want, I can go ahead and attach while sewing. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead now and input my bust measurement. Like I said, I'm going to go hard on allowance here. So I'm going to be adding 3 inches allowance to this. This is because it is a free jacket and I want it to be as free as possible. So just go ahead, you can go ahead and add 2 and add 1.5 depending on how wide you want this to be. I really wanted this to be as free as possible. So on this point now, just go ahead and draw a straight line now. So this 10-inch will serve as my armhole. So I want the armhole as wide as possible as well. So I'm going to just use this bust line as my armhole line as well. So on the length as well, I'll take that same measurement here. So what I have on my bust, I went ahead to take it on the length. Then I'm going to be adding that same 3 inches I added back to this. So again, I added what I have on my bust measurement divided by 4. Then I added that same 3 inches. So now I'll just go ahead and connect this straight. So as you can see, there is no much shaping in this because it is a free jacket. So I'll just connect this up straight. So definitely my waist can fit into this, so we want to go ahead and check if your waist will fit into that, as well as the hip. So what I have will fit into my waist with allowance, and then the waist and the hip will fit into this with the allowance as well. So we want to check that before cutting. Right, so this is what I have. As you can see, I just made a curve on that bust line in order to indicate that that is where my sleeve will end. So I'll just curve it down into the length. So go ahead and do the same thing now. So after you're done with this, we're going to be cutting the neckline first. So keep in mind I'm cutting for both the front and the back piece. So you want to keep this in mind in order for you not to make mistakes. Now I'm going to be cutting the length as well. So just go ahead and cut here. So take note that each pieces you have here will be very useful. So just go ahead and cut this out carefully. So guys, this was what I had after I was done cutting. As you can see, the front and the back piece are hooked together. So now just go ahead and open this part up, since I'm going to be joining the shoulders together. So I'll just open this part all up. So the other one is opened, so that makes it perfect. Now I'm going to separate these two pieces now and work on one. So one will serve as my back, and then the other one will serve as the front. So I went ahead to remove the one for the back. Then I'm going to be working on the front. So we're going to be creating an opening in the front for us to be able to properly call this a jacket. Yeah. So now from this neckline now, I'm just going to make a slant down to wherever I find okay. So this is just as if you're making a V-neck. So just go ahead and make a slant from the depth, from the wideness you have as your neckline. Just connect the straight line into that part like this. So please take note of this. Right, so this is what I had. I hope this is visible enough for us to see. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. Please guys, keep in mind that it is the same neckline I'm using. What I have for the front is what I have for the back. Right, so I just went ahead to cut it. So this was what I had after I was done. Now I'll just go ahead and open this all up. So I have two pieces. So take your time to cut this and make sure you are cutting right. Now that we are done opening it all up, now we're going to be working on one piece while we use the other one to cut the other piece. So this was what I have after I was done cutting. As you can see, it is a V neckline, but I'm not going to be using this way because I can see that it has some sharp edges which I'm going to try to eradicate. Now for the sleeve, like I said, every pieces here matters. So this is wide enough to go around one part of the sleeve, as you can see. So it is on fold. actually, which is perfect for what we are working for, or what we are working with rather. So here I'm just going to be using this for this part of the sleeve. So this will actually complete the length of the sleeve I want. So go ahead and check yours as well if it's going to fit into the length of sleeve you need. Alright guys, we'll be back to that. Now let's work on the opening. Now this is actually a v-neck now, but I want to eradicate the sharpness there. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking 1 inch from the down of that, and I'm going to be connecting this to where my v-neck stop. So just ignore what you have here. This is what I explained earlier. I'm going to be using the remaining pieces now to complete my sleeve round. So this is already clear. So just ignore this and then go to the next part where we'll be working on the front piece. So I'm going to set this all outside like I said. Now then I'll be working on that piece. Now for this part, like I said earlier, I'm going to be taking 1 inch from the depth of this, just like this as you see me doing. So I'll take 1 inch on this part, then I'll connect it straight to my v-neck. So just take 1 inch randomly like that, then connect it here. So doing this, you're going to eradicate the sharp points you have on that part. And then another reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to be adding a band to this. So the band is going to be about 1.5 inch. So this is another reason why I'm doing this. So just go ahead and connect this straight down like this. Right, so as you can see, this is what it's going to look like. So I will just connect this clearly for you to see. Then I'll go ahead and cut this all out. So after I'm done cutting this out, I'm going to be using this to cut on the other piece. So take note that what I actually use here is just 1 inch. So go ahead and cut this out. I'll make sure it blends into the V you have on the upper part. So you are going to be eradicating the sharpness you had in that part. So guys, this is where mine is going to stop, as you can see. So this was what I had now. Now I'm going to take this piece and use it to cut on the other piece. So I have both sides equal. So place it right side facing right side like this. Then trim off what you have for the other part. So you want to make sure it is totally equal now so that you don't make any mistake. So go ahead and place an object on it for it to be firm, then cut. So I have gone ahead to cut now. This is what my front piece looks like. So as you can see, they are both equal now. They both have the same shape. So now we can go ahead now and start sewing our pieces together. So I'm going to be placing this on the back for us to see how it looks like. So this is the back piece. Now I'm going to be placing the front piece on it now. So just go ahead and set them together. So this is how I'm going to be sewing it as well. But I'm going to be facing this right side facing the right side together before I join. So the first part I'm going to be joining is the shoulder. As you can see, I have an opening in between which I'm going to be fixing all up with the band like I said earlier. I don't know if it's okay to call this a band, but since I'm going to be attaching this all around, I just prefer to call it a band. Alright, so I'm going to be using what I refer to as the band to be 1.5 inch unfold. So I have exactly 3 inches opened, while unfold that's 1.5 inch. So I'm just going to go ahead to take the measurement of the opening I have from this part. So just go ahead and do it as you can see me doing it. So the band that I mentioned earlier is going to go from the length of the gown, of the jacket rather, straight to the neck, that is the collar part all round like this and then straight back down. So go ahead and take this measurement round. So this will take the whole of the tape. Just go ahead and continue. So there I already had 60 inches. Then I'm going to just continue from that part straight ahead there. So that completes my measurement. So go ahead and take your measurement now. Now whatever you have, go ahead and cut it as a long piece and fold to be 1.5 inch. So we're going to be attaching that back to this part. So this is what I'm going to be using for mine. So I already went ahead to cut mine. So go ahead and do the same for yours. Now I'm going to be setting this outside now, and then I'll go ahead and join the shoulder, and I'll be back to show us what it looks like. So take note that I'm going to be joining the shoulder right side facing the right side. So I'll go ahead and turn this now. So this is what I had. As you can see, I've gone ahead to join the shoulder. So then also I went ahead to attach a completion to the length of my sleeve. So this actually completes the length of my sleeve. So if what you had earlier is okay for the length of the sleeve you want, then it's fine, you can leave it that way. But for mine, I wanted a longer sleeve, at least like something that will get to almost my hand folding. So I wanted the length to be longer, so I attached about 3 inches on fold to this. So now I'm going to be working on the band like I mentioned earlier. So I also went ahead to sew the sides together, as you can see. So I just took about ½ inch on both sides from the armhole part straight down. I hope this is clear enough for us to understand. So I took about ½ inch to join this piece together after I've attached my sleeve length, and I make sure it is complete. So now I'm going to be folding this, as you can see me doing. So go ahead and fold this into two like this. Then you're going to be sewing this round this, like round where we measured earlier with our tape rule. So just go ahead and sew this round, and then when you are done with this, make sure you give this a good press so that you have it flat and looking neat. So guys, this was what I had after I was done. So as you can see, I also went ahead to sew it on the neck part. So you can see this really looks nice, usually the neck part. I think this actually came out nice. Then I also went ahead to join it totally to this part. So this was what it looks like. So now what is left for me is just to fold these. So what I added to my length was about 1.5 inch. So I'm going to be folding in that 1.5 inch, so I have the length. Thank you guys for watching, and this was the outcome when I was done. So I went ahead to fold the edges like I said earlier. So guys, if you find this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to leave your questions in the comment section. I'll be happy and glad to reply our questions. So stay tuned for the next tutorial, and thanks for watching.